Hello, it's Diane. I've been thinking for a long time about doing a tutorial on how I prepare my vintage book covers to receive the signatures and be turned into a journal. I know there are a lot of videos out there of people who show how they make their book covers or do the spines for their covers. But since I'm making two journals right now, and one of them I can't use the spine, so I have to create a new spine. And the other one, I am using the spine on the book. I thought it would be a good time for me to show you how I do both of those types of book covers. So let's just see. Kind of nervous about doing a tutorial, but if it goes well, I'll upload it. And if not, you'll never see it. So I'm going to start, and by the way, these are circus journals. You may have seen a video where I showed, excuse me, the covers I was using, the plain undecorated covers I showed. This is the Curly Tops at the circus, and for this one I just added a strip of paper here and a couple of cutouts. This one I punched out with my little tag punch and stitched around it to a piece of pink paper backing it, and glued on some rickrack, and I put on some silver corners. And the spine is pretty good. Now what I normally do is I make my signatures first if I'm creating a spine. So this is my batch of fat signatures. They are complete. A lot of people don't do all of the decorating before they sew them in, but I do. I may have to add some things like tag toppers and stuff like that, but it should be pretty much complete. So this is about how fat it's going to be. So then I take it on my little mat here that has measuring ruler on the bottom, and this could be 1.5 inches or 2 inches, but the spine of this book is 1.5 inches, so I'm going to go with that. It will be fat, so I'm going to have an elastic around it to hold it shut because it pops open like that. But since the spine's in pretty good shape, I'm going to leave it and just reinforce it. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I already have some things prepped, so it doesn't take too much time, but I use Tyvek to reinforce, and I will show you. I was given this package of Tyvek envelopes from my friend who was starting to make mini albums and stuff, and then she gave me a lot of her stuff because she decided not to do that anymore. So I know this stuff is expensive, but I have seen these envelopes at Staples. Maybe not this brand. I'm not sure where she got this, but I know you can buy these envelopes at Staples. This is 10 by 13, and there's 12 envelopes, and since you just use a small piece for each book, they are lasting a long time. Also, these are the envelopes that Priority Mail uses from the post office. I have heard that it is not legal to take these and just use them because they are government property. However, this one was about to be thrown away at the post office, and I asked the clerk there if I could have it, so I've been cutting this one up too. But just so you know, those are where you can get your Tyvek. What it is a material that you can't tear. You can cut it, but you can't tear it, so it really reinforces the spine very well. A lot of people use Craftex. I've never used it. I've never even seen it. I'm happy with my Tyvek for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use my red tape and apply it. I'm not used to doing a tutorial, and I'm not used to working around my tripod like this. I don't use my phone. I have a Canon camera that I set up on a tripod. So I just put this tape close to the edge. It's 1/4 inch, and I make sure I put it across the top too, because I have forgotten that, and then you have a gap. I don't put it down the center because the stitching will go down there and hold it in place. And I don't really want to put my needle through sticky stuff. Okay, now here comes the hard part for me. Oh, my nose is itching. Getting a hold of the backing. Oh, that one was good. I figured since I was on camera that it was not going to be easy, but I don't usually get them off this easily. Okay, there we go. All right, so then I just take my Tyvek and just apply it to the spine. So now it's not going to tear apart, especially with vintage books. I really want to be careful with that. Okay, so now I would also normally cover the ends of the book, the inside covers, but I really like these illustrations and I don't want to cover them up, so I'm leaving them. Even though these illustrations are not circus related, they're just curly tops, whatever. There's a series of books about the curly tops, and this particular edition had this image on the front of all the books and this on the inside, so I don't want to cover that up. So what I would normally, you'll see me cover up the ends in the next book, but I would just cut a piece of scrapbook paper and just apply that there and then put something in the center. So I chose this blue and white striped fabric or paper, and I will also use my red tape, and I guess I better do it where you can see me. I should have at least put the tape on before I started filming, but that's okay. It's Saturday, and as far as I know, I get to be home all day. Just I have housework to do, and I'm doing laundry, but my main job today is to finish these journals, and I like it when I get a day that I can really dedicate time. Because this week it's pretty much been get in here when I have a chance and not spend too much time because I have other things going on. And that's okay too. I'll take whatever time I can get. But I really like the days where I have more time to be creative. Now let's see if they work this easily. The backing sticks to my hand from static electricity as I'm trying to get it to let go and fall into the garbage. And then I'll just apply. I cut this just a tad wider than the Tyvek, so I'm not going to have any white showing, hopefully, if I did it right. And then I cut it lengthwise to fit the end papers so it doesn't go all the way to the top of the book. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of that book cover. As I said, I am going to use elastic on it. Trying to find the book pages because it's pretty fat. Now I could put one of the Tim Holtz, one of these things on with a hair tie, but I've got a bunch of these pieces of decorative elastic that I found at Walmart in the jewelry area, and so I pulled some of them out. I think I'm going to just make a tie that you can slip on and off, and so I pulled some of these out. This one is 3 yards, or a yard. What? I thought it was more than a yard because it's bigger. Anyway, yeah. They say they're 36 inches, so it's a yard. And this package has 3 pieces that are 23 inches each. And so I brought these over. This blue doesn't really match. Well, it matches down here. Matches the blues in those images. So I could use this one. And the polka dots are good for circus. I also like the silver because it's a gray book. And the arrows are fun. And then this one has a silver, just a silvery tie. And I have found that these shorter pieces, I think this is the length I used before, I just take that off and tie a knot in it and it's just the right size. I don't even trim it. So, which one do you think I should use? I think I like this arrow one. So I'm going to cut it to 24 inches because that's about the size of those shorter pieces. Take it off my card here. Okay. Oops. And then I just tie a knot in the end. This seems kind of big though. We'll see. We'll slip it on the book and see how it does. Maybe those other pieces I used were not 2 feet. It just seems like a lot. Yeah, I think that's too big. I'm sure that's too big. All right, so I'm not going to fuss with that. I'm going to cut that knot off. So this piece is 16 inches. Let's see how that does. You can't see me. Like I said, I'm not used to doing tutorials. I show you my stuff after it's done. Yeah, that's better. I might tighten that up a little bit more. But yeah, I think I'll make that a little bit tighter, but you don't have to watch me do that. So now all I have to do is sew my signatures into the spine and do the finishing touches, like add tag toppers, and I think I have some more journaling cards and things to add, and put something. Well, I have my stamp and my ink pad right here that I want to stamp. This book belongs to right there. Excuse me for bumping the camera. So they put this rubber on my block a little bit crooked, so I have a hard time making it straight. But I don't let it bother me. And I'll probably put something on the back, maybe a library pocket or something. But you get to see how I did the spine of a book that I'm keeping the original spine on. So I'll do another video because the other one's going to take a little bit longer. So I will come back with a video on how I create a new spine.